When people see me and I tell them I'm 45, people really don't believe. But out of that 45 years, I can tell you that the last 29 years of my life I have spent behind bars, behind prisons, in underground cells. And the reason why that has happened to me personally is because I felt that I'm not fighting for anybody, I'm fighting for my life, I'm fighting for myself. I feel that I'm a leader in my own right, whether as a student union leader back in the days, whether as a civil society or civil rights movement leader, whether as a human rights defender, because I didn't feel I was defending anybody's right, I felt I was defending the right. Because when someone else's right is abused, I feel if I don't speak up, I'll be the next person. So every step I have taken in my life was about all of us collectively winning. Yes, I knew that if I kept quiet and I was silent and my right is trampled upon, that I will have lost and other collective members of the society would also have lost. So I want to share with you the three phases of my life, that I have gone through from the beginning, from before I stepped into leadership, when I was in leadership, and now the collectivism of winning for the future. First, when I stepped, before I stepped into leadership, the whole idea in my mind was that winning was about being the strongest person in the room. The idea that at all times, that you will be the one, the person that has the strongest voice, the person that has the best argument, the person who is more bossy is the one who wins. But unfortunately, as I grew into leadership, I've come to realize that winning is beyond having the best voice, having the most power, that winning is about being a team player. It's about carrying people along. Winning transcends beyond the immediate gains and what people want us to believe, that it is the will of the strong that must always prevail at all times. That winning must go beyond the whole idea of the 48 laws of power, all the rules outlined in 48 laws of power. That is not winning, that is oppression. I've gotten to also realize, painfully so, that aside providing leadership, that the most important index and that the irreducible minimum for leadership and for winning is that even when you go into a negotiation room, either as a lawyer, either as a businessman, either as someone who is a lobbyist, that the idea must be, even when your demands are met, others on the negotiation table must also not feel deprived or that they have lost. So true winning is by ensuring that people are carried along. The real leadership must entail equality, real leadership must entail justice, real leadership must entail that all citizens in the country win. Winning requires certain salient and leadership points. First, a good leader must be someone who listens more than he talks, because the idea of leading, the idea behind leading is that first you must learn what the people need, because no matter how concerned or caring you may be, what the people need is more important than what you, the leader, think they need. So a good leader must be someone who listens. For instance, as a leader in my office, we run a law firm of almost, I think we're almost about 20 something in the office. I can tell you that my opinion is the least most important. I can tell you that my opinion is the least most important. And that even as one of the leaders of that law firm, that once I bring my opinion and a superior reasoning comes, I always just say my opinion to follow the superior reasoning. So a good leader must be someone who is humble enough to accept criticism, someone who does not get angry by criticism. Any nation where criticism is an offense and a crime, such a nation can never make progress. Any leader who does not take criticism as a sign of improving and doing better cannot be a good leader. So for you to have a win-win situation, you must be a lover of criticism, and you must always be excited when you are criticized. Second, the other very most important issue is that you must then take action on criticism. It's not enough for you to love criticism, it's not enough for you to accept criticism, but you must take specific steps to address what people have suggested, what people think. And finally, When you take steps, you must take steps boldly, and knowing fully well that you have taken these suggestions, and you must be courageous, you must be brave, and you must carry out the necessary reform that is required for everyone to win. While accept that we must collectively and collaboratively work together for leadership to win, but someone must be at the forefront to drive the required change and narrative. And that is why we need leaders in every strata of our lives, whether it be running a law firm, whether it is leaders in civil society, whether it is leaders in the motor park, whether it be community leaders, whether it be market women leaders, whether it be leaders in the National Assembly, whether it be leaders in Aso Rock, whether it be leaders in the ministry or agencies of government. Leaders at all levels must be passionate, must be driven by the ultimate good for society. Real leaders are not slave drivers. Real leaders, they carry their subordinates along, they carry their colleagues around. How do you identify a good leader? A good leader is not someone who says all that he wants to see in his vision. A good leader is someone who leads by example, who carries out the reform through his day-to-day life, who you can see the things that the person is preaching. You can actually see it in their practical lives every day. Thank you.